we'll actually start with going over Great Adventures 2022 improvements. Big one, of course, is Medusa, Bizarro's retheme. What do you guys think?
I love this retheme, pseudo retheme, going back to Medusa. It reeks of my childhood. I love it. I kind of wish they kept the purple supports, but the updated colors scheme is nice too. I just hope I hope they add even more theming than what it was previously as Medusa. I know they tried to do the tie-in with the mining company. Hopefully, we see more of that. I think I saw a comment. Someone was saying it'd be a cool idea if they kind of disguised the the flamethrowers as TNT or dynamite, something like that. Little things like that would make it even better. Overall, though, I'm just so excited for Medusa to be back.
Yeah, I think it's going to be really good, especially just alone the fact that it's getting a repaint, because it started looking pretty bad recently in some places. So even if they just repainted it as Bizarro, it still would have been great. But the fact that they're renaming it back to Medusa and giving it a new paint scheme, I think is really good. I never got to see Medusa in its original form, so but I still think that this paint scheme is going to look pretty cool, even though it's different.
Yeah, I'm really excited. I'm really glad that they decided to do Medusa. I was a little bit nervous about them doing another DC hero in like a non-DC area, but now that they're kind of like not only putting it back to Medusa, but they're also trying to tie it in with the Western area, I think it's great in general. The fact that they're trying to really bring out these areas a little bit more.
I mean, for me, I never saw it as Medusa because I think I went to Great Adventure for the first time like 2013 or 2014. It was already Bizarro by that point, but it obviously needed a repaint because the paint on Bizarro was horrible looking. And for me, the only thing I'm not a huge fan of the ride itself, but like the entrance was cool as heck, and I hope they don't like just destroy that. I hope they like take it somewhere, do something with it eventually again. But I mean, it definitely needed it, and the concept art looks really cool, and the painting they've done already looks really cool. So it definitely is an improvement.
One of the other, probably the most crazy things that they're doing that's making a lot of people happy is single rider lines being added to Toro, Devil, Medusa, and Nitro.
Yeah, so this is huge itself. Nitro, I'm going to kind of go on my experience of working at the park in the rides department for a little bit. Nitro was always top 3 in throughput, and so was El Toro, if I remember correctly. I haven't worked at the park since 2018, so I don't know what to say about Jersey Devil in terms of throughput. But these two rides being in the top 3 consistently, at least at the time that I worked there, is only going to help that. I really wish they included Skull Mountain too, because the throughput was very high on there as well, and I think that could have helped them. But this is a great start. Bizarro, always top 10, of course. This is only going to help them there. This is just going to help all around in throughput. I'm really excited to see what this does. I know it's going to be great for us. I know a few of us tend to go to the park some days alone, and it can be really stressful, really aggravating to have to either wait in a long line or just sacrifice riding any of these rides at all because there's no single rider line. That's about to change. I'm really excited for this.
I think this will be really good, especially on Jersey Devil, because what they have to do on Jersey Devil is when there's a few empty seats, they'll have to like look through the whole line and call, oh, is there a group of 2 back there or a single rider? Now they can just fill the train. Also, single rider is almost always going to get the back row or one of the back rows because that's just how they load the train front to back.
My question is, are they redoing some of these queues? Because a lot of these queues aren't made for single rider lines. So I'm curious, does that mean there's going to be a little bit more room in the queues? Because a lot of the queues are a little bit tight right now. Especially Nitro, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but it's been overflowing for the past 2 years now. Like almost every visit. I assume they're going to put it in on Medusa. There's no reason they wouldn't if it's brand new. But that's my question and my concern, basically. But everything else, like I think this is a great addition, and I think it'll really help a lot of like the consistency on these rides.
Yeah, as somebody who travels by himself a lot, like I'm a huge fan of single rider lines everywhere because I think they are good when they're run correctly. They're a very, very good thing. I guess as they were announcing this, I was sitting there thinking like, why didn't they do this with like Batman, or do they just not need to? Because at the times I've been at the park, it's almost always been busy when I've been there. That's my question for all you guys. You guys are Great Adventure guys. I'm not.
I think one of the main reasons they didn't do it on some coasters is because it would be a lot of work to put, for example, Batman, like you said, to put a single rider line in. I think the only thing that makes the most sense for that would be like lining up at the exit for a single rider line or something. Just because there's only 2 entrances into the station, unless they use the flash pass entrance somehow.
That makes sense.
Yeah, and even on some of the other coasters, it brings up some concerns. Like Nitro, I think the only way they'll be able to do it is using that back set of stairs on the exit side as the single rider line, which will require another attendant to be there to say, okay, you can go fill in these empty seats.
My guess is that they chose these 4 because they are such high throughput rides consistently. Nitro always tended to take the top spot too. But yeah, I'm right there with you, Bob. I don't know what they're going to do in terms of actually bringing a single rider line through. I think Jersey Devil, someone can correct me if this isn't the case, but I think Jersey Devil already did have one. And
Yeah,
I don't think it doesn't work well though.
Yeah, they just never used
it. I don't think it worked because it goes with the fast pass line, and that wouldn't be the single riders going up would still have to wait in a little bit of line.
There's about 20 feet of line, a third queue in the beginning of the line, and then it joins with the flash pass line. So the only thing is they're probably gonna have to add another stairs or ramp.
And Jack, exactly what you said is true, because when I went to Fiesta, Texas, all 3 days I was there, they didn't have a single rider line for Wonder Woman, but every single time they're like, who's a single rider? And they threw me in the back row. And I was like, oh, darn, I have to ride in the back row.
I'm going to move on to the next slide here, which is the new sign on 537. And this kind of coincides with a couple other things. Obviously, we were told, or at least it was heavily alluded to us at Thrillathon, that they're going to be redoing the entrance, or at least a part of the entrance this year. We don't really know much of anything because they haven't released anything about the entrance yet. But I think it's safe to assume there's probably going to be a portion of the entrance being redone this year. I really do hope that happens, because this, in combination with that, will definitely make it a lot nicer to go into the park.
I'm wondering if a lot of the parks are going to redo like their entrance signs like this, because didn't Fiesta Texas just do this too?
Yep, they did.
Yeah.
Some of the entrance signs are nicer though. Like the Six Flags America one is really nice, and the Six Flags
That's true.
one is really nice.
That's true.
Yeah.
This is interesting also that they put the Wild Safari on there, which I know they've said in the past already that they're going to keep the Wild Safari, but this is almost just confirming even more that they're going to keep the Wild Safari. They are bringing the Safari VIP tour to the off-road adventure vehicles from inside the park.
Mm-hmm.
So
I think that's a great idea.
Basically just an upcharge attraction, like how you could pay to do Expedition Dino last year, but now you can pay to get the truck experience. You get to go to Camp Aventura and everything.
Mm-hmm. I definitely think going forward they should keep the drive-through and some form of the trucks, because I think the drive-through is like universally loved. Like you don't have to really go anywhere, you just drive in, drive through, go at your own pace. And the trucks really do work well for more individualized experiences. Like I don't know if they said they were doing this, but I think a great use for the trucks would be like, to take it to Camp Aventura to do like encounters with the giraffes and other animals that you could like feed them. I think that's a really good use. So we have the new Fatburger location, which is actually replacing, or at least I'm pretty sure it's replacing Johnny Rockets near Nitro. So I think that's a good change, because I always thought it was weird that there were 2 Johnny Rockets in the park. It's not like Johnny Rockets is bad or anything. It's just kind of strange that there's 2. So I think this will definitely help diversify the menu selection at the park a little better.
They were kind of close to each other too, so I'm glad.
Yes.
I mean, it's another burger joint, but it's something different, and so yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, I've heard from people that have, because this is a chain outside of Great Adventure, so I've heard people say it's pretty good. So, who knows?
Yeah, I've heard really good things about it. I heard it's better than Johnny Rockets. So I'm excited to try it. And I think it's great. I do. I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, I agree. I've never had it before, but I'm excited for it.
I've never.
Don't they
even
have it
heard
in the
of this
Midwest?
place.
Because I know they don't have it in Jersey.
I don't know that there's any around here. I'm not sure.
Also, it's good to see that the mobile ordering is now getting its own designated area from the beginning of a place.
Yeah, I think that's a good spot.
They haven't had any restaurants open with mobile ordering intended to be there. So the new, I think Granny's and Yum Yum are getting a refurbishment this year. Mm-hmm. And I'm assuming they will also have a designated mobile order area that probably won't have cash registers, be a lot simpler to pick up than in the past where they just reuse one of the pickup lanes as a mobile order.
Next, we have the addition to Junior Thrill Seekers. So, Junior Thrill Seekers is the renovation of the Looney Tunes Seaport area, and they started last year with the new signage, and by changing the name and relocating Roadrunner Railway to become Little Devil, and it looks like they're also going to be adding another, well, quote-unquote new ride called Barnstormer, which was in Looney Tunes Seaport. And now it's actually going where that theater is, which is kind of near Skull Mountain in that area. And they're going to be putting Barnstormer where the actual theater is, and where the seating is going to become new shaded seating, which is really, really nice.
Yeah, I'm excited for this. This was one of my favorite rides when I was little back in the Seaport days. I'm glad it's making a comeback, and I didn't even think of getting rid of that theater. Actually, the old my God, I'm blanking on the name. I'm going to call it the Poland Spring Plunge because that's the first name I remember for the other log flume. It was that station. I'm kind of sad to see that go, but fine, it puts another new ride in. I think they'll have more room to put back another one of those old Seaport rides, maybe the Teacup one, because we still have the Teacup ride that could come back, the Yellow Submarine 2, and I'm not sure, but in the Boneyard might still be the boat and plane rides that they got rid of way before Seaport was gotten rid of altogether. So this opens up the area even more to new rides in the future. I'm really excited for it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very like, you guys all know Great Adventure before me, so like I don't really know about these different areas and things, and I'm really excited to see them like actually like build that area up and do something else besides, because it's just, they're in the same boat. Cedar Point is like, you have to take care of everybody that isn't a coaster fan as well, and that's that I know that pisses coaster fans off a lot. It's like, oh, when is our next big thing? But like, you have to cater to other people besides just coaster enthusiasts.
Yeah, definitely.
I agree with everything Bob just said. I'm also really glad that they're finally taking out that theater. We didn't need it, and my dad brought to my attention that there is the other theater at the other kids area, which is way nicer. So that's fine staying there. We can use this area for all new rides. Cross fingers though, at some point that they bring back the Fun Factory.
Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah, I wish that's fun. Universal still has that in the Curious George area.
I think Six Flags America still has theirs too. One of the other Six Flags I've been to still has it.
Dollywood added one really recently too, right?
Mm-hmm. I think so.
Oh, they added it recently?
Yeah, Fireman's Landing, I think, right?
Yeah.
Probably.
There hasn't even been a show at that theater since at least 2019.
That's what I was going to say. If they weren't going to use it, yes, get rid of it, put new rides there, increase the amount of stuff to do for everybody. I agree, Bob. We kind of get lost in waiting for the next big coaster, but it's not just people who want to ride coasters that are going to the park. This is great. It's going to round out offerings for families too and increase attendance and that kind of thing.
You don't, I mean, parks don't make their money off attendance. They make their money off spending things. And the people that have season passes that go 3 or 4 times a week aren't spending money, like, other than to get their pass and occasionally, like, a souvenir here or there or something to eat, whatever. But like, you have to take care of everybody else and get them to come back and get them to spend money while they're there and stuff like that. And we overlook that a lot.
So next here on the slideshow, we have the Summer Vibes Festival. Now, we don't really know much about it other than these 2 pictures right here. So I'm going to skip through the slide because there's really not much to know. But I think it's really cool that we're seeing an actual festival come to the park next year.
And wacky waving inflatable arm flailing tube men. That's going to be great.
Are there umbrellas in the Midway?
I would think so.
I really hope so, because those look really nice.
If I had to guess, it'll be over the boardwalk where the flags drape across.
I really hope
that's a good idea.
So nice.
Yeah. Although it would kind of look strange, but it'll look nice still.
Yeah. And finally, on the slideshow here, we have Batman's repaint. On the right picture, you can see what the repainted supports look like, which are black. They look incredible, if you ask me. And then in the left picture, you can see a little sliver of the orange track, which is what the entire track is going to be repainted. I think that, especially with these black supports, the ride's going to look so good now. I do kind of wish they would kind of change the underside of the ride because it's just a bunch of dirt. Like, even if they put a bunch of grass seed down and, filled it out with some better soil, I think that would look nice. But this is a welcome addition as it is.
I didn't even think Batman's paint looked all that terrible until they started doing the work on this. I just realized how chalky the old colors were looking over the years. Like, I think when the repaint happened from when it was all black to what it was for the past couple of years, it was a much more bright yellow. Those supports, I think they weren't exactly black, they were some dark shade of blue. And you could see the black paint coming through here and there, but overall it wasn't really as bad as Medusa and Bizarro was. I think this is awesome. I can't wait to see these deepened colors come into the ride. It's gonna look great.
Yeah. So I've seen like almost all of them now, and the blue and black ones are kind of cool looking. I don't like the Goliath, even though I know it's not Batman, but I don't like the Goliath colors. The St. Louis one just looks terrible, but this definitely looks pretty darn cool. I mean, obviously it's a huge upgrade, so.
Well, going back to what Bob said about the blue track, I was really hoping they would do that, but I knew it wasn't going to happen. But in the back of my mind, I was like, really hoping, but it's okay. The other thing was, I hope they take the Bizarro buildings that you go through and go by and repaint those and make those like Gotham City when you're going around the ride. Just an idea, though.
Or they reuse them for Medusa and make them like mining buildings, kind of like a Western town or something like that.
You could.
Well, I think that is everything we have with the slideshow.